from your local news channel. Live at 11 starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Scott Hennessy. Ida has weakened to a tropical depression, the storm leaving catastrophic damage across southeastern Louisiana, killing at least 2 people. And now Ida is still causing dangerous flash flooding conditions in parts of Mississippi and Alabama. Daryl Forges joins us live from New Orleans with the latest.
It is 1 o'clock in the morning local time here in New Orleans, Louisiana. Right now I'm standing on Bourbon Street. Look behind me. It is just pitch black dark. That's mainly because the entire city is still without power. In fact, 1.1 million customers statewide still do not have power. And crews of first responders have been working around the clock to help those in need. About 348 people have been rescued by the National Guard in Louisiana. This, as one local official calls Hurricane Ida, quote, Katrina on steroids. Search and rescue efforts underway across the Gulf Coast after Ida into Louisiana as a deadly Category 4 hurricane.
Robust search and rescue is happening right now. And I fully expect that death count will go up considerably.
Heavy rain pounding the state for hours, causing severe flooding, punishing storm surge, widespread power outages that may last weeks in the hardest hit areas, and the rapidly rising waters trapping some people in their homes.
It is devastating. You've got other areas along the coast, Grand Isle, Homer, Morgan City, and then you've got areas that flooded from rainfall. It's a treacherous thing to get into these communities.
Debris and standing water making it difficult for first responders to access some of the hardest hit areas, forcing some residents to take matters into their own hands.
A couple of people behind me have a lot of friends and family out there, so I got a fairly decent sized boat, so if I can get a couple people to ride with me, we'll check on everyone once we get out there.
Ida has weakened as it moves inland, but with heavy rainfall, drainage systems without power, and overwhelmed levees risk more life-threatening flooding. President Biden is pledging federal help.
More than 5,000 members of your National Guard have been activated from Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Texas to support search and rescue.
And some things to keep in mind. Hurricane Ida, even though it's gone, is still having a major impact, especially in southern Louisiana. The Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport has already canceled all their flights coming in and out of the airport on Tuesday and has already canceled at least 197 flights for Wednesday. Also, Tulane University, the school in New Orleans, is moving and evacuating all their students to Houston, Texas. And also, something to keep in mind as well, the weather's an issue. We know that there's going to be a heat advisory from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. for southern Louisiana like New Orleans, as well as Mississippi. We can see temperatures as high as 103 degrees on Tuesday. And mix that with no power and no AC is going to be a big issue in this area. Live in New Orleans, I'm Daryl Forges.
And more difficult days to come there, Daryl. Thank you. The Calder fire is moving closer to Lake Tahoe today. South Lake Tahoe is now under mandatory evacuation orders. Fire managers say protecting Lake Tahoe remains their top priority, but it's not an easy one. Since breaking out about 2 weeks ago, the Caldor fire has burned more than 177,000 acres. It's just 14% contained. This week, fire crews face strong wind gusts and extreme heat. The weather is prompting a red flag warning across the northern Sierra through tomorrow. All national forests in California will close tomorrow to keep people safe during extreme fire danger. They'll be closed through September 17th.
We all are just so tired, you know. We just want to be home, just like everyone else.
The Calder fire is one of more than a dozen large fires burning across California. More than 1.6 million acres have burned in California this year. Julia Espinoza keeping an eye on the forecast for us in the First Alert Weather Center tonight. Julia.
Good evening, Scott. And as fires continue to burn, unfortunately, we're continuing to see really light to moderate smoke, and it does impact our air quality when it comes to our local region. Throughout the weekend, we were under that moderate activity, and at this very hour right now, it continues to impact down towards the south coast, including the city of Santa Barbara, down towards Ventura County, versus the central coast. We've been cleared away, and the rest of us will join that clearing as we go towards your Tuesday morning. So good news and easier breathing for any folks that do suffer from respiratory issues. By the time we go towards your late Tuesday, we may be seeing some of that moderate activity make its way out towards San Luis Obispo County right around sunset hour, but we're going to be monitoring this activity. We do believe improvement thanks to a stronger onshore flow. So I'm going to be talking about that cooling trend coming up shortly, but for now, Scott, sending it back to you.
Thank you very much, Julia. The Pentagon has announced its military withdrawal from Afghanistan is finished. The State Department is now taking the lead with its diplomatic mission moved to Doha, Qatar. Natalie Brand is at the White House with more.
I'm here to announce the completion of our withdrawal from Afghanistan and the end of the military mission to evacuate American citizens.
The Pentagon says the last U.S. military plane has departed Kabul's international airport, completing the U.S. withdrawal from a 20-year war in Afghanistan.
A new chapter of America's engagement with Afghanistan has begun. It's one in which we will lead with our diplomacy.
Overnight, rockets that were launched towards Kabul's international airport were either shot down or failed to reach their target. The attempted attack came one day after the U.S. conducted an airstrike against an ISIS-K vehicle filled with explosives near the airport.
This strike prevented a high-profile attack.
The Pentagon is investigating reports of possible civilian casualties from the drone strike. Ahead of Tuesday's August 31st withdrawal deadline, the administration says more than 122,000 people have been evacuated from Afghanistan.
We believe there are still a small number of Americans, under 200 and likely closer to 100, who remain in Afghanistan.
Americans that are in Afghanistan that want to leave and Afghans who want to leave, they will not be denied that opportunity.
This video sent to CBS News from journalists on the ground in Afghanistan is believed to show members of the Taliban firing to the sky in celebration of the U.S. withdrawal. President Biden said Tuesday he will address his decision not to extend U.S. troop presence there beyond the 31st. Natalie Brandt, Washington.
Cruise ships want to visit Santa Barbara, but Santa Barbara is putting those visits on hold. News Channel reporter Tracy Lair has reaction to their 6-month suspension.
You're more likely to see yachts and sailboats off the coast of Santa Barbara than cruise ships.
Firstly, it was a really tough decision.
Santa Barbara's waterfront director says visits have once again been temporarily suspended due to COVID-19.
Making a call to kind of put it on pause until the spring doesn't come lightly. But for the safety and wellness of the community and the cruise ship visitors, it just seems like we really shouldn't be the first ones diving back into this.
The decision follows news of an outbreak among a Carnival Vista crew that had sailed out of Galveston, Texas and on to Belize. A passenger from Oklahoma later died. Most of the cruises anchor off Santa Barbara just for the day between September and May.
I really feel sorry, especially for the small business owner. And why not let people see this beautiful place?
About a third of the cruise ship passengers take excursions to wineries and places like Los Olivos. The rest often walk to places like State Street and Stearns Wharf.
I know we get a long line when we do get the cruise ships, and they make a lot of money for us.
Ice cream shops aren't the only places that scoop up the extra business. Passengers on the hunt for souvenirs are introduced to Santa Barbara and often come back for longer visits. The mayor of Santa Barbara is confident that cruises will eventually be welcomed back.
I have friends who are just waiting for the pandemic to subside. They love taking cruises, so I know it'll come back when it's safe.
The Discovery Princess is the next cruise ship scheduled to visit Santa Barbara on March 10th, 2022. In Santa Barbara, I'm News Channel reporter Tracy Lair.
Many students are back to school for in-person learning. In Orchid, some teachers tell us although they're happy to see their students, it has been a challenge. News Channel reporter Karen Cruz-Orduña spoke with some teachers about what's going on in the classrooms.
Students are officially back at Orchid Union School District, and many teachers and students are excited to be back. It's nice to see children and to have voices on campus and to, all of the wonderful things that got us into the profession.
But the Santa Maria Elementary Education Association says there are still concerns of health issues.
Making sure that kids are being listened to and that, you can hear them, that you're attending to their needs. And it's a little more difficult to do when folks are masked up in the classroom. So it's really just a new mindset for a lot of teachers, and how are they adjusting to that?
Educators say COVID exposures are an ongoing concern. They also say the rules are different for people, depending on whether they're vaccinated.
If you're not vaccinated and you're exposed, you have to be gone for 10 days, unless you're able to get so many days of a negative COVID test.
Teachers say there's also a substitute teacher shortage, which is challenging if a teacher is exposed and needs to quarantine.
Somebody's got to still be there to teach those kids. And so that's causing some concern, frustration for teachers, frustration for administrators too as well. It's not just a teacher thing.
Teachers say masking is mandated indoors, but it can be difficult to physical distance in some classrooms. At the end of the day, teachers tell us that despite the challenges, they are grateful to be back with their students.
The vast majority of our kids are in classes with their teachers, where their families want them to be, where they want to be, and of course where teachers want them to be.
I am News Channel reporter Karen Cruz Orduña.
The San Luis Obispo County Public Health Department held its 100th mobile vaccine clinic today. The clinic was held at the wall-to-wall indoor soccer complex in Paso Robles. The county was giving out $25 gift cards to everyone who got their shot today. Since shifting its focus to mobile clinics, the county says it has given out thousands of vaccinations, and it wouldn't be possible without the work of volunteers.
The people who volunteer here, like myself, Medical Reserve Corps, were either active, semi-retired, or retired medical professionals that have come out of our homes to help people out and to save lives. So we don't have any financial relationship with any of this stuff. We do this totally on a volunteer basis.
Today's clinic was able to give out nearly 50 vaccinations. Still ahead tonight, new testimony in the Paul and Ruben Flores preliminary hearing, including another mention of convicted killer Scott Peterson and a link to Kristen Smart's murder case. And homeless camps are shrinking in and around Santa Barbara. We'll meet a man who had been homeless who's now helping out.